Point, I'd like to call to order the January 13th, 2022 meeting of the Newberg Planning Commission and start off with a roll call, please.
Okay, Jason Dale.
Here.
Connor Hanson.
Present.
Charles Aben.
Here.
Jessica Harrington.
Here.
Chris Wright.
Here.
Jeff Musall.
Here.
Aiden Gray.
Here.
And Sharon Capri is excused tonight.
Well, I thank you. So our first item up is Planning Commission election of a Planning Commission chair and vice chair.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair. First of all, next on the agenda after roll call is public comments. But before we even get to the public comments, so we have a lot of new people this evening. So I thought it might be good to just do some general introductions, brief statement, who you are, why you're on the commission, because we have new commissioners and we have new staff members. So 2022 is a time of change. So, to kick this all off, so I'm Doug Rux, I'm the Community Development Director. And so maybe Mr. Chair, start off with you.
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Jeff Musall and I'm the currently serving chair of the Planning Commission. And it's been a interesting learning experience and fun being part of. I've been in Newberg since moved here right around when my son was born, who's 14. So happy to be a part of the commission. Next, please.
Chris, why don't we go with you?
Am I on? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Chris Wright. I am a planning commissioner since 2019. I actually started filling in for somebody and continued on, but I have been an off and on resident for, oh gosh, ever since I was a teenager. So I've watched Newberg really grow and blossom, and I'm honored to be a part of the commission and presenting the public.
Thanks. Jessica?
Yes, I'm Jessica Harrington. I'm HR manager, and I've lived in Newberg for 22 years, I believe. Have 3 children, and I felt like it was time for me to start being more a part of the community. And so I went and looked and seen what was open, and this interests me the most.
Well, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Connor?
Hey, yeah, I'm Connor Hanson. I'm on the board, planning commissioner as of this year. I lived in Newberg for about 20 years, maybe a little longer. But yeah, I'm just excited to be a part of my community.
And welcome aboard to you as well.
Charles?
I'm Charles. I've been living in Newberg since about 2014, and I've been on the Planning Commission for about a year now, and have very loud dogs. But very excited and just really excited to see Newberg grow over the years I've been here. Yeah.
Okay. Aiden?
Hello, my name is Aiden Gray, and I'm the Student Planning Commissioner. I chose this role because I really wanted to learn about student government and the urban planning process because I've been considering a degree in civil engineering. I've been a resident of Newberg on and off throughout my entire life. We moved a couple of times, but we've always come back here because we love this town. And I love being a part of it and helping our community grow.
Congratulations on being the first student voter.
Jason?
Hi, my name is Jason Dale. I'm with Sportsman Air Park here in Newberg. I've been on the Planning Commission since, I believe, 2012. And I've been in Newberg basically all my life other than a 5-year stint in the Navy. And the business has been here since 1946. So I think I beat everybody. No, I'm just kidding. I'm looking forward to working with all the new people.
Jason, Jeff here. I been on the commission with you quite a while, and I didn't realize you were also a former ex-sailor. I was Navy as well.
Go Squids.
Yep.
So maybe we'll go through staff. So Brett, you want to start off?
Yeah, Brett Music, a senior engineer with the city, the engineering division.
And on my screen, Bobby, to my left, far left.
I'm Bobby Morgan. I work for the Community Development Center with Doug as office assistant. I assist the planners and I take the meeting minutes.
Mary?
Hello, I'm Mary Hepperling Creighton, and I'm the housing planner for the city of Newberg. So you'll see me a lot more in the next coming year or two as we swing into our housing projects here at the city of Newberg.
Ashley?
Hi, yes, I'm Ashley Smith. I'm the new assistant planner. I've been on the job for almost 2 months now. I'm new to the Newberg area, but really excited. I grew up in Oregon in the Coast Range, and so this is my first time being in this area. But as I was attempting to get this position, I really paid attention to this commission, and I really enjoyed how everyone worked together. So I'm excited to be actually here now.
Robin?
Well, trying to start my video here. Hi, I'm just Robin Steele. I'm pretty inconsequential at this meeting, except that I host it sort of as a favor, but I work as a paralegal for the city of Newberg, been here since 1992. And actually joining up with this meeting, I've learned a lot of new things since I've done this. So it's kind of interesting, kind of exciting, but I don't say much.
All right. Mr. Chair, I'll turn it back over to you for public comments.
Thank you very much. And I'd just like to add a thank you to all the staff we've worked with for a while, and a welcome to the new staff. It's been a pleasure, and I think it will probably continue to be so in the future. So if there's anyone in the room that would like to make a public comment, please limit it to 5 minutes per person for items not on the agenda. And do we have anyone?
Looking at the attendee list, Mr. Chair, we have Brian and Beth Kaiser, who are an applicant. I'm not sure about Cody Willis, if he's here to speak about a specific item. Mark Gatos is here on an item. Richard Rupp and Aaron Lynch are here on an item. Robin Baker's here on an item. And Stacy Athen is here watching based on an email I received from her. So we would have to have Robin ask if Cody and Stacy have any general public comments.
Go ahead. You said Brian and Beth, you wanted to ask if they had any?
No, it would be Cody Willis and Stacy Athen.
Oh, Cody. Okay.
Cody Willis here. I don't have any public questions. I'm actually with Stacy. Stacy's my wife.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I'm assuming Stacy does not either then?
No, she does not.
Okay.
All right. So with that, Mr. Chair, I take it we have no public comments.
All right, thank you. And just to clarify on the agenda here, because the election was a little bit higher up, should we do the consent calendar first or go to the election?
Consent calendar first, Mr. Chair.
All right, so at this time, let's take a look and consider an approval of the minutes for the prior meeting on December 10th, 2020. And is there anyone offer a motion to accept?
Motion to approve Planning Commission meetings minutes for January 3rd. Sorry, I'm going to do it again. December 9th, 2021.
I second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Can we just get a quick vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? No, so that motion passes. So then moving on to our election of a new planning commission chair and vice chair. And in following with what I believe is standing tradition, giving an opportunity for seniority, and I believe I'm right on the seniority level here, I'd like to nominate Planning Commissioner Chris Wright for the chair.
I second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Can we get a roll call vote for this one? Is that necessary?
Mr. Chair, we might want to ask Commissioner Wright if she wants to do it.
Absolutely. Sorry. Planning Commissioner Wright.
What does that have to do with anything?
If voted on and accepted, would you like the position?
Yes, I will accept commission.
Absolutely. So in that case, let's vote on the proposal.
Okay.
Is it a roll call vote or?
It does not need to be a
doesn't need a roll call. Okay.
Does not need a roll call.
Okay. All in favor? Aye, please.
Aye.
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 Any opposed? None. Well, I'd like to be the first to offer my congratulations to Planning Commissioner Chair Chris Wright. And at this point, I'll turn it over to you for the selection of the vice chair.
And you don't continue on until this is done? No. Okay. Next in line for seniority would be, okay, most of all you, Sharon Capri, which is absent this evening, Jason Dale, and Charles Alban would be next. Are you willing to accept vice chair, Mr. Dale?
So I just did chair last year.
I know.
So if we're going that route, we have Commissioner Aban for tonight, and then talk to Sharon at the next meeting for the vice chair for the year.
All right.
So would that be an interim vice chair?
Well, if we're going to go down that particular path, then what we would do is just hold over the nomination and the vote on the vice chair until the February meeting.
Sure.
Okay. We'll move to holdover appointment of vice chair for January 13th, 2022 meeting. Planning Commission till our next meeting in February 2022.
And I second that.
So, Madam Chair, you just need to call for a vote.
All right. Can we call for a vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, moving on. Next on our calendar, consent calendar, is first up is the quasi-judicial public hearing, CUP 21007, located at 709 East Franklin Street. We have a testify procedure limited to 5 minutes. First to proponents, and second testimonies testimony will be for opponents. And then we'll have a chance for rebuttal. And the purpose is for planning commissioners to review application, hear testimony, deliberate, and then make a motion on the matter. At this time, I would like to call for any extensions, bias, ex parte contact, or objections to jurisdiction. And at this time, does the student Adrian Gray read our LUBA announcement?
Yes, Madam Chair. So Aiden will read the required legal requirements.
ORS 197.763 requires certain statements to be made at the commencement of a public hearing. The applicable city and state zoning criteria must be listed. This means that we must advise you of the standards that must be satisfied by the applicant prior to our approval of an application. The planning staff will list the applicable criteria during his or her presentation of the staff report. Persons wishing to participate in this hearing must direct their testimony or the evidence toward the criteria stated by the planner or other specific city or state criteria which you believe apply. You must tell us why the testimony or evidence relates to the criteria. Any issue which might be raised in an appeal of this case for the Land Use Board of Appeals must be raised in person or by letter at the local level prior to the city approving or denying the application. The law states that the issue must be raised in enough detail to afford the decision maker and the parties an opportunity to respond. This part of the law is also known as the raise it or waive it requirement. If you do not bring it up now, you cannot bring it up at the Land Use Board of Appeals. Failure of an applicant to raise the constitutional or other issues related to proposed conditions of approval in enough detail to allow the local government or its designee to respond to the issue precludes an action for damages in circuit court. Prior to the conclusion of the initial evidentiary hearing on the application, any participant may request an opportunity to present additional evidence or testimony regarding the application. The Planning Commission will grant such a request through a continuance or extension of the record.
Thank you, Aiden. Congratulations.
And then next up is staff report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So Robin, if you pull up the PowerPoint, please. So what we have before us this evening is a vacation rental application at 709 East Franklin Street. So I will begin by entering the entire staff report, the exhibits and attachments into the record. The case is CUP 21-007. Next slide. So the owners are Aaron Lynch and Richard Rupp. This is an application to seek approval for a conditional use permit to an existing 3-bedroom single-family home to be used as a vacation rental. As noted, it's 709 East Franklin Street, and the respective tax lot number is up on your screen and in your staff report. The property is zoned medium density residential, and it has an airport overlay with the airport conical surface. There are 2 aspects to this application that we will go through this evening: 15.225060, which is the conditional use permit criteria, which requires a type 3 review before the Planning Commission, and then 15.445300 through 445350, which is our vacation rental standards. Next slide. This is a map identifying the location of the subject property. So again, it's 709 Franklin Street. To the right of your screen is Meridian, just a block and a half away. And a block and a half away to your left is College. Block away, half a block away, excuse me, half a block away would be College Street. Next slide. So this is just a site view looking from the street, looking at the particular property. Next slide. So the criteria at play, 15.225060, CUP criteria. So this is dealing with the location, size, design, and operating characteristics of the proposal. So this particular property is located, again, it's an existing single family home. It's within about 3 blocks of the downtown area, which is to the south. It's a block and a half away from the university, which is off to the east. Vacation rentals operate similar to residential uses in their design and their operating characteristics. And there's a lot more detail that's included in your staff report. The application indicated that there are 4 off-street parking spaces provided. There's also a garage. Those 4 off-street spaces are in front of the garage, just on the north side of Franklin Street. Next slide. 225060. B, and C in this particular situation. So the first is location, design, and site planning of the proposed use. And so there's no new construction that's proposed for this one. It's an existing residential dwelling. It's not a shopping center or a civic entertainment activity. Really what applies here is C. The development will be consistent with the code. So the location, again, as I mentioned earlier, it's about 3 blocks to the north of downtown. It applies to, regional attractions, and the commission has seen these before with wineries, agritourism, GFU, and other events and activities that do occur within the broader Newberg community. Again, there are 4 existing parking spaces plus the garage on the site. And the use is generally compatible with other residential uses, and the property is similar in size and so forth to other properties within this particular neighborhood area. Next slide. 445, vacation rentals. So there are specific criteria. It has to be a single family home. In this situation, it is a single family home. There is a requirement to register with the city of Newberg for transient lodging tax. And if this application was approved, they would receive a communication from our finance department, basically a welcome to the TLT program, and there will be additional documents and forms for them to fill out. There's a requirement for at least 2 parking spaces. And again, there are 4 off-street spaces plus the garage. The maximum occupancy that is allowed is 2 guests per bedroom. This is a 3-bedroom home, but the applicant had put in their application that they will limit their guests to 4. And so staff wrote the report following along with what the applicant had proposed and putting that limit at 4. They cannot have any RVs, tents, or other temporary shelters as part of the vacation rental program. There is a requirement for posting, and that posting goes inside the dwelling at the door, and it needs to require information about how you contact the owner or whoever's managing that particular facility, the police, all of our vacation rental standards, what the maximum occupancy would be. In this case, it would be 4. When the garbage pickup day would occur, and I'll get to a slide, and that's on Wednesdays. And next slide. So staff's recommendation on this particular application is the commission move to adopt Commission Order 2022-01 with the conditions that are included in your staff report that approves the conditional use permit for CUP 2107 as a vacation rental home at 709 East Franklin Street. And that is staff's presentation, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Doug. At this time, I would like to ask if there are any proponents that would like to speak. Bobby, is there anybody in the waiting room?
So we do have the applicants here this evening, Richard Rupp and Aaron Lynch. So Robin, if you would like to promote them, please.
Hi. Hi, can everybody hear us?
Yes. I can hear you.
We can hear you now. So just wanted to thank you so much for taking the time to let us talk to you tonight. Obviously, love Newberg. It's one of our favorite places in the world. We got married in Newberg, so it has a special place in our heart. Aaron would like me to do most of the talking, but Aaron works pretty regularly with the local wine industry, the Oregon Dairy Guild, Oregon Berries, and the hazelnut growers. And so we are usually out there once a month. So we stay there ourselves. And so it's become very important, particularly for Aaron, for both of us, because we all kind of know the lodging situation in Newberg and how challenging it can be. So this was a way for us to have a place to stay on a regular basis, particularly in the summer. So, we'll be there, like I said, at least once a month, but obviously this was kind of a realistic way for us to keep the house and still be able to, afford the house. So that was our main reason. We actually live up in Camas. And so we all know at times during the summer and on the weekends, that can be quite a long drive back and forth to do day trips. So a lot of times we're just there for one night. But, one of the things, we're very sensitive to, trying to not, we realize it's a residential area. So we want to be very respectful for that. The property manager that we've contacted and that we plan on using is Corey Tigner from iTrip Vacations. And one of the things they do is, you probably already know this, but they have the outdoor sound monitors so that if there's any sound issues, they can take care of it right away. So again, you already covered, but we're doing a 4-person occupancy, no pets, quiet hours after 9 o'clock. So, we want to be very respectful of the neighbors and everybody around us. And so thank you very much for having us tonight.
Well, thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate your testimony. Thank you. Do we have any others waiting in the, first of all, are there any questions from, are there any other questions from commissioners? All right, having none, are there any other proponents in the lobby?
I do not see any hands up.
Are there any opponents in the lobby?
Give me 1 second here.
I think what you have here, Robin, is Mark and Robin Baker who would probably like to make comments on this application.
Okay, Mr. Gatos is coming first.
Can you spell that, Bobby?
Gaidos, Mark.
All right, thank you.
I keep promoting him to panelist, but he's not moving over for some reason. Okay, I'll just hit allow to talk. Mark, if you can unmute yourself.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you. So it's Mark Gaidos. I live at 414 North College Street. Been in that location there for almost 30 years. So, and I put this in the written comments to the commission. Since I've been in that location, I've seen probably four families come and go in that house. And of those families, 2 of them had small children when they moved in. When they moved out, those children had grown up, and I was basically their surrogate uncle. So the point of me telling you that little anecdote is that it's a really close-knit community. And I feel like over the past almost 30 years since I've been there, I've seen that community, basically that livability erode significantly. And that's mostly with the proliferation of rental housing and somewhat from the college pressure from the students of the college, and also with vacation rentals. And we actually have quite a few vacation rentals already in the neighborhood. I'm a little reluctant to basically post myself as an opponent to this. I'm somewhat neutral because the libertarian in me says somebody should obviously have the right to use their property as they see fit. This certainly meets all the criteria. I'd had a brief discussion with Doug about it, and it's clear that the applicants are doing their best to meet all the criteria, and so there's no issues there. My intent in giving some public comments here is more along the lines of asking the commission, and this might be something more suitable for the city council, but whether or not the city is at some point going to consider a target density for these vacation rentals in these neighborhoods, because if we get to the point where we have so many of them, we essentially lose our neighborhood and we become a hotel. And I think it's important that the city consider maintaining these neighborhoods, both north and south of the downtown core, as viable neighborhoods where people are actually living in their own homes and not being absentee landlords. So that's basically my comments on this, above and beyond what I submitted in the written testimony. It certainly seems like the applicants seem like nice people, and I think they're trying their best to be respectful of the neighbors. So from that aspect, I'm hopeful about this. We do have some verbos in the neighborhood where we have had issues with loud parties and that sort of thing after hours on weeknights. And it seems like this one will not have those kinds of issues. So I just want to say thank you for letting me make some comments about this.
Well, you're very welcome. Thank you, Mr. Guidos. I appreciate your comments, and yes, it will be taken under consideration in the future. That issue has come up before. I appreciate your comments on that. Do any commissioners have any questions for Mr. Guidos?
I have a question or a comment. Mr. Guidos, would it be fair to say, as I believe you said, you're not against this particular rental, but more against the concept of vacation rentals themselves?
I'm not against the concept so much. Like I said, just to repeat myself a little bit, whether or not we're going to have a target density cap for these sorts of things in the neighborhood is a big open issue. And where this, I know there's been a stated goal, this was in the staff response, about providing affordable housing within Newberg. As we take these particular housing units essentially offline for access as affordable housing, I am personally concerned that the solution that will be put forward to that will be something along the lines of, well, we'll just provide more infill housing in the same neighborhood. And that I see as potentially an issue when we're talking about a neighborhood that has a lot of historic character. It is, since it's located close to the core downtown area, there is a walking tour established for the historic homes in the area. I would hate to see that the solution to affordable housing involving installation of things like triplexes and quadplexes that would essentially destroy the character of the neighborhood.
Just so you're aware, I think most of those regs have been already passed in favor of that due to density. And the things that keeps that from happening is whether or not they're financially viable for the owners to construct. In other words, it's not really going to be viable for somebody to tear down their house and then build a quadplex for the difference. However, I would like to say I've been reading quite a few articles lately about the relating to the financing of mortgages and houses, and how the trend is, what's happening is people are paying these very much higher, as we all know, mortgage rates, and then renting out properties, and then that's basically taking the ability to have mortgages for a segment of the population. And then eventually what will happen is the rents will be raised. And so I think that might be a viable way to approach this from an affordable housing perspective for you to gather some like-minded individuals, say, and go before the city, as you've been speculating. And then we might have some legislation towards that goal put before us that we could do something with.
Okay.
But that's just my own opinion.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Dale. That's some wonderful comments. I really appreciate those ideas too. And thank you. Yes, we need to have something also put before us, because I do see a upcoming issue with this. And other cities have had to deal with putting a cap or a target density, so to speak, or using other terminology to limit the amount of rentals. So there is affordable housing in the area with walkability. All right, thank you very much. Is there any other questions from any other commissioners? Bobby, is there anybody else waiting to speak?
Yes, Madam Chair, we have Robin Baker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I am reinforcing Mark's comments, really. I'm a neighbor right next to the home, 701 East Franklin Street, resident of Newberg for 23 years and also president of George Fox University. So I'm just really here to reinforce the comment. The neighbors that own this home seem to be very gracious. They've obviously take care of the residents in making their suggestion tonight. So I'm not really here against them, similar to Mark. But we are concerned, both as a university and as a resident of this community. Over 50% of the homes, as I mentioned in my letter, on this block are now either rentals or VRBOs. And at some point, it really makes it no longer a neighborhood. And I think that's what Mark was really referring to. And the university is really interested, although Mark was suggesting we're part of the problem at times, that in maintaining the historic residential part of this community in this town. So we don't want to see either rentals for our students or VRBOs overwhelm these old historic neighborhoods. They're beautiful areas, and we want to see the character around the college be maintained. So we'd be interested as well, Jason, in making sure there are regulations that limit at least the number of homes in this area in particular that can be turned over to VRBOs or other such kind of things, apart from the proposal tonight.
All right, thank you, Mr. Baker.
You're welcome.
Appreciate your comments very much so. Are there any questions from any commissioners for Mr. Baker?
I have one comment, if you don't mind.
No, not at all.
Thank you. Is it Director Baker? I seem to recall that title for you.
Oh no, you can call me Robin, but it's President Baker at the college.
President Baker.
I'm not at the college tonight, so you don't have to worry about it.
No, I like to add people's titles when appropriate. Thank you. So as I was just saying, and I'm having another thought here. So one way to approach some possible legislation along this line is approaching it from the bottom up regarding affordable pricing. And so we're saying, okay, we're looking to keep people from being able to have high mortgages and then high rents on these properties, and driving up or driving away affordable housing from that direction. You could also possibly look at legislation to limit the amount of rental properties as a percentage, possibly in a given area. Doing the historical side of things, that's probably quite a bit tougher, because I want to say there's more restrictions along those lines, but Doug can correct me if I'm wrong here, but we do have the Historical Preservation Commission. I'm probably getting the name wrong. They could look into that, but that's three potential methods for introducing some limits on vacation rental properties. Just some thoughts.
Thank you, Commissioner Dale. Are there any other commissioners would have any questions or comments?
Commissioner Musil, just a quick comment. And Commissioner Dale, is spot on. And as everyone said, this seems to be a pretty straightforward, cut and dried application with no real concerns, but it's something that we will need to bump into in the future is when it comes to preserving certain neighborhoods and areas and things like that. So that said, definitely this sounds like a good sound proposal for tonight, but that's something that, and it sounds like Commissioner Dale's put some good ideas out as far as how people can move forward with doing that, but it's something that I'm sure we'll be addressing in the future.
Madam Chair, if I may provide just a few comments. I know Mark and I have chatted as recently as last night. President Baker and I have chatted in the past about the issue about affordable housing on a lot of occasions, actually. And so I have shared with both gentlemen, issues about the council has brought forward about housing affordability. They did put together a 5-year work program. Mary was on earlier that will be working to implement that. We have had conversations with the Historic Commission about the possibility of creating a historic district downtown. It takes some time. There's an expense involved with all of that. But I would encourage both of our citizens who have testified tonight is to share your views and opinions with the City Council. They are the policymakers. And so for staff, we follow the direction of the policy that the City Council provides, as well as the Planning Commission. The issue before us tonight is one that is, does the application meet the applicable criteria? So I've shared, Dr. Baker has shared some comments. I know with certain members of the City Council, Mark has shared comments with me last night as well. And so I would continue to encourage both individuals to share your views with the City Council. The Planning Commission also has a potential role in this. You could come back at your meeting in February and formulate some type of recommendation to the City Council to investigate or evaluate the issue about vacation rentals and the impacts upon neighborhoods, both pro and con. That's what I wanted to add, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Doug. Writing that last part down. Thank you. I think that would be a wonderful consideration for the commissioners to have some potential recommendations for February 2022 meeting. To recommend to City Council in the future, if we can have some talks about that. And with that, can you cite any cities, any other information where we can track it and kind of look in private as well during our off time? I thank you very much, everybody, for your testimonies. Are there any final comments from staff?
No, Madam Chair, but protocol wise, if we are done with the public testimony portion, you would need to close the public testimony.
Yes. Is there anybody else who would like any testimony at this time? All right, I hereby close public testimony on CUP 21-007. All right, deliberation of commissioners. Anybody have any thoughts, concerns?
I'm new to this. Is it okay if I just go out and make comments?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, Commissioner Hanson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, I just want to say on a, I guess, I just want to echo the sentiments of the opponents and say that in terms of community, there should be probably a better solution in the future, just in terms of limiting vacation rentals and stuff like that. but as far as you know, it's kind of following the legal process, and so yeah, sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. It's all good. All right, are there any other comments, questions from any of the other commissioners?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Yes, despite my previous comments, I see nothing wrong with this particular application. It meets all the criteria, and I see no reason to go against it.
Thank you, Commissioner Dale. Are there any other comments from any other commissioners? Student commissioner? Anybody? Okay. I close the test or questions for commissioners. Do we have any motions?
I move that the commission approve CUP 21-0007 conditional use permit approving to use a single family dwelling as a vacation rental home at the address of 709 East Franklin Street.
I second the motion.
Greg, can we take a vote?
This one needs to be a roll call vote, Madam Chair.
Roll call vote, please.
Okay, Jason Dale.
Yes.
Connor Hanson.
Yes.
Charles Aben.
Yes.
Jessica Harrington.
Yes.
Chris Wright.
Yes.
Jeff Musall.
Yes.
Aiden Gray.
Yes.
Madam Chair, it passes 7-0.
Thank you, Doug. Right, and at this time we have a second quasi-judicial public hearing on CUP 21-0008, conditional use permit, use single family dwelling as vacation rental home located at 1400 North Hoskin Street.
Should I read the requirements, Mrs. Chairwoman?
I'm sorry, what, Aiden?
No, first of all, we need to go through the call for abstentions, bias, ex parte, and objection.
All right. At this time, I would like to ask any of the commissioners for any extensions, bias, ex parte, contact, or objections to jurisdiction. Hearing none. Doug, do we have to do the LUBA? Is that just once a night or each?
No, each case. So Commissioner Ray has to read the language again.
All right.
All right.
Student Commissioner Adrian Gray, you are on.
ORS 197.763 requires certain statements to be made at the commencement of a public hearing. The applicable city and state zoning criteria must be listed. This means that we must advise you of the standards that must be satisfied by the applicant prior to our approval of an application. The planning staff will list the applicable criteria during his or her presentation of the staff report. Persons wishing to participate in this hearing must direct their testimony or the evidence towards the criteria stated by the planner or other specific city or state criteria which you believe apply. You must tell us why the testimony or evidence relates to the criteria. Any issue which might be raised in the appeal of this case to the Land Use Board of Appeals must be raised in person or by letter at the local level prior to city approving or denying the application. Bill law states that the issue must be raised in enough detail to afford the decision maker and the parties an opportunity to respond. This part of the law is known as the raise it or waive it requirement. If you do not bring it up now, you can't bring it up at the Land Board of Appeals. Failure of the applicant to raise constitutional or other issues relating to the proposed condition of the approval in enough detail to allow the local government or its designee to respond to the issue precludes an action for damages in circuit court. Prior to the conclusion of the initial evidentiary hearing of an application, any participant may request an opportunity to present additional evidence or testimony regarding the application. The Planning Commission will grant such a request through a continuance or extension of the record.
Thank you, AD.
So, Madam Chair, I guess next up is me. So, Robin, if you could pull up the PowerPoint.
Report.
All right, thank you. So, Doug Rucks, Community Development Director. So, begin by entering the entire staff report into the record. This is a vacation rental application at 1400 North Hoskins Street, and it's CUP 21-0008. Next slide. So the applicant for this one is Brian and Beth Kaiser. Again, it is a CUP application. This particular single family dwelling is a 5-bedroom home. As we noted, it's 1400 North Hoskins. Tax lot number is included on your slide as well as in your staff report. This property is zoned R1, which is low density residential. It is also in the airport overlay in the airport conical surface. The applicable criteria for this one are 15.225060, and then again 15.445300 through 350 on vacation rental homes. Next slide. Again, a map identifying the location of the subject property. So this is north of Sierra Vista and south of Pennington on North Hoskins Street. Next slide. This is a photo of the residence. As you can see, you know, parking out front, has a double car garage. Right. Next slide. So 15.225060, location, size, and design and operating characteristics. This one is an existing single family home. It's about 3/4 of a mile away from downtown, and it's about 1/4 of a mile away from the university. It's similar to other single family residential homes in this particular neighborhood. And for this one, there are 3 proposed off-street parking spaces plus 1 space in the garage. So the photo that I previously had showed you. Next slide. So 225060B and C. Again, the location is attractive for vacation rental homes, proximity to downtown, the university, regional attractions, as we noted in a previous hearing, for wineries, agritourism. Again, there are 3 existing parking spaces located on this property, plus 1 space in the garage. And generally, the use is compatible with other residential uses in this particular neighborhood that are either both owned or rented. Next slide. 15.445.300 are vacation rental standards. Again, so the location 1400 North Hoskins, single family dwelling. Needed to be a single family dwelling, and it is. If this application is approved, property owners would need to register with the city to pay the transient lodging tax, and that would come from our finance department. Standards required a minimum of 2 parking spaces. In this case, 3 are proposed plus the garage. The maximum occupancy of this particular proposal is 10, which is 2 per guest room because there are 5 bedrooms. The premise would not be allowed to use RVs, tents, or other temporary shelters as part of the vacation rental operation. As noted in your application, is that this is a home that would be used as a vacation rental when the current owners are not present on the property. Under 3.40, the posting, so it needs to list the property owner as the contact or the agency that they would be using to manage the property, police department number, the vacation rental standards that are specific that are listed out in your staff report, the maximum occupancy. The garbage pickup day for this particular property is again on a Wednesday. And all of that information would need to be posted near the front door to the residents. Next slide. So staff is recommending that the commission move to adopt Planning Commission Order 2022-02, with conditions that are included in your staff report, which approves the conditional use permit CUP 21-0008 as a vacant rental home at 1400 North Hoskins Street. That is staff's presentation, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Doug. You will have a testifying procedure limited to 5 minutes. First proponents will be heard, then second opponents will be heard. There will be a chance for rebuttal. And the purpose for planning commissioners are to review application, hear testimony, deliberate, and make a motion on the matter. And I would like to ask if there are any proponents that would like to speak at this time.
So we do have the applicants, Brian and Beth Kaiser, and so if they could be promoted, Robin.
Now, can you see and hear us?
I can hear you.
We can hear you. Yep.
There we go.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. First off, I want to thank you guys for allowing us to be part of this, and special thanks to Doug and his staff for the assistance they gave us through this process. And as commissioners, we also appreciate the hard work you guys have to do week in and week out to manage the property in this town. This home has been our home for 24 years. And you saw a picture of it, but it's much different than when we bought it 24 years ago. It's evolved. It's been the home we've raised our boys in. It's the home that we've heard the sound of our grandkids in now for 11 years. And it's with heavy hearts that we have to leave the area, at least for a while, to gain some sensitive medical care for one of our kids. But we do intend, I'll come back for business from time to time. And we have our son and several of our grandkids that live right close by. And so we have a lot of reasons to come back, and it's home. And so we want to have the home there for us to utilize when we need to, when we want to come back. But we also find it very, very important because we know our neighbors. We've gotten to know them over the 24 years very, very well. And with our kids close by, grandkids, neighbors we know and love, it's very, very important to us that it be managed well. And so we similar to Mr. Rupp and Ms. Lynch, Corey Tigner from iTrip Vacations is going to be managing the property. And we have great confidence that they will do an excellent job to make sure we have good people who stay there. They monitor, as was mentioned before, with sound monitoring to make sure that people behave themselves. And we, especially with family close by, it's highly critical to us that good people are staying there. And we also know that with the challenges with hotel space and lodging, to come back, it is really difficult to get rooms. And so having our home to be utilized by us when we want to be in the area is very, very important to us. So we just want to thank you once again for allowing us to take part in this. Our desire is that our home has been our family home. We hope that families can utilize it over the next the months to come. I know we can't prejudice about who stays there, but we hope that families will find it a nice place for them to stay and enjoy the area, especially those visiting George Fox and the surrounding area. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian and Beth Kaiser. We appreciate your testimony. Is there any questions from commissioners at this time? And Doug, am I allowed to ask any questions at this time, or do I wait till the end?
You can ask questions of the applicant, yes.
Okay. On your first American title, your title shows that you have a 4-bedroom originally.
Yeah, yes, correct. Originally it was 4-bedroom. We've added on to the home, and it's now has a 5th bedroom and additional living space.
Okay, wonderful. I just wanted to clarify that. I saw that on your notice there. All right, thank you. No other questions. Any other questions from any other commissioners? Having none, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
So now, Madam Chair, is the opportunity for any other proponents than opponents.
Yep. Are there any other proponents in the lobby?
Madam Chair, there's actually nobody else in the attendee room.
Okay, I see. All right, thank you very much. All right, any final staff, any final comments or yes, any final comments from staff?
Final comment from staff. The staff is recommending approval of this conditional use application.
Great. Thank you, Doug.
But before we do that, Madam Chair, we make sure that we close
yes,
the public testimony.
Close public testimony. At this time, public testimony is closed for CUP 21-008. Are there any, okay, so you've done your staff final comments. Okay, now we'll be deliberating as commissioners. Do I have any other comments, issues, questions from commissioners?
Commissioner Musil, I have a quick comment, and I don't know how important it is, but I noticed on item F, I believe it's page 4 on the public comment section. If you go down, it's in response to a request from neighbors. And if you go down item 1, I think somebody got burned by spell check because it says no parodies instead of parties. And then it goes down and it repeats again in the response that it says there's no criteria for vacation rental regarding no parodies. So I don't know if that's something you want to correct, but I just saw that.
Duly noted, Commissioner. Spell check. The fiends of spell check.
All right, and I have a couple other as well. On page 5 of this document, 5 of 48, it reads MNC, and should it read NMC?
Should be NMC.
NMC. Okay, so we have a spelling issue.
Just a spelling error in the staff report.
It's all good. Okay.
I can tell. I did spell check it multiple times.
I know. And so the okay, also on page 9 of 48, 4th paragraph, or third, okay, back up, 3rd paragraph, it says findings, existing 5-bedroom. Okay, 2nd sentence, the home has 3-bedroom SE max of 6. Shouldn't that be 10?
It should be 10.
Okay, and then page 10 of 48B, paragraph 3, findings. It says zoned R2.
It should be R1.
R1. Okay, and then page 11 of 48, I think it's under D, 2nd paragraph under findings. 4th sentence, weekly pickup is Friday. Should that be Wednesday?
Should be Wednesday.
Okay. Okay, and then on that same page, there are 3 dots. Okay, never mind. Page 12. The third dot down says also max of 6 people, needs to be max of 10 people with 5 bedrooms, etc. That be it. No questions, no comments. Any further questions or comments from commissioners? We take a moment to do any motions at this time.
Madam Chair, I
Yes.
move that we approve the CUP 21-0008, the conditional use permit for 1400 North Hoskins Street.
I second that motion.
Who did the second?
Aiden.
Oh, yeah,
Aiden. Okay.
Aiden, what was your last name again? Excuse me.
Commissioner Gray, G-R-A-Y.
Gray. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Jason Dale,
Yes.
Connor Hanson,
Yes.
Charles Aben,
Yes.
Jessica Harrington,
Yes.
Chris Wright,
Yes.
Jeff Musall,
Yes.
and Aiden Gray.
Yes.
That passes.
So that passes 7-0.
CUP 21-008 passes 7-0. Congratulations, Brian and Beth Kaiser. Kate, how do you say their last name? Is it Kaiser?
Kaiser.
Kaiser. Okay. Thank you very much, staff. You did a wonderful job in putting that together. It's very much appreciated. Any further next from staff?
So several items, commissioners. I received late today a notification that there's an opportunity for planning commissioner training on January 31st in McMinnville. That training would be from 5 to 7:30 p.m. and I believe it will be an in-person opportunity. So I will send this out to the commissioners tomorrow. If you are interested in signing up, if you could let us know Monday, so you'll have the weekend to think about it, then Bobby and I can work on Monday to get you registered to be able to do that. Bobby's shaking her head.
Monday's a holiday.
Monday's a holiday. You need to let me know Tuesday.
Tuesday. I
work from home. You know, every day is a work day.
Tell me about it.
Another item I wanted to bring up is we have the grant that we received from DLCD to a technical assistance grant to do a code audit for clear and objective standards in the development code related to multifamily housing, which is 5 units or more. So we brought this up before. The Planning Commission will be the Citizens Advisory Committee for that particular project. It'll run about 1.5 years. We will do our best to try to schedule activities related to this particular grant and these code changes at your regular meetings, but there may be extra meetings that will be necessary. So as we typically do, if there's a fallback meeting, it would be on the 4th Thursday of the month. So we are currently working on a contract with Angelo Planning Group for that. And so we have not had our kickoff meeting yet to be able to establish what our potential meeting dates are. But I just wanted to make everybody aware, 22 is going to be a busy year, and that will continue on into 2023 as well. This particular grant will help us. We've been receiving communications from the Fair Housing Council that we are not in compliance with certain provisions of state law, and I'm aware of that, but we're able to get the grant. So Mary will be managing this particular project as we move forward. Currently, Currently, I have nothing specifically scheduled for your February meeting, but likely we will have our kickoff meeting on the code audit project. And so we'll be talking with you at least about that. And something else may come up. You just never quite know. Your March meeting will be a public hearing, a legislative hearing related to the proposed urban renewal plan and its accompanying report. And that will be for conformance with a comprehensive plan goals and policies. At your April meeting, right now, tentatively, we're looking at the economic opportunities analysis, housing needs analysis, and our public, semi-public, integrating certain aspects of those documents into our comprehensive plan. At your May 12th meeting, there's another new state law that was passed, and it's SB 458, and it's related to land divisions for middle housing. So communities around the state are working on this. We have to comply with this by the end of June of 2022. If we don't, then we just got to follow the state law. So we'll be initiating that application with the council at one of their meetings in February. And we've got, as kind of the tickler, we're trying to work on the West End Mill District. As you know, we've been short-staffed, so we're out recruiting. So as soon as we can get restaffed, we're going to resurrect that project and bring that forward. So that's what I have for you is kind of your forward calendar. And so as always, we'll try to schedule everything that we can so that you have some clarity over the course of a one-year period of what will be coming before you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dale. We appreciate all the work you and your staff do. Very much so. Are there any other comments or questions from commissioners?
I did have one question. I am new to city government, and I know today we had a lot of people concerned with vacation rentals and many commissioners who felt strongly on the topic. And I heard from someone, I forgot who, I'm sorry, who suggested that we make a recommendation to the city council to investigate that. How would we go about moving that forward and or putting it on a calendar?
So at this point in time, that was brought up tonight. And so staff can prepare some material for your February meeting, giving you some ideas. The chair had mentioned that, other communities, staff has done prior research looking at issues about a cap on the number of vacation rentals within a particular community, a distance requirement between vacation rentals. And I think it's not really that the commission would get down into what I will call the weeds at your February meeting, but it may be more of a resolution we can propose and draft for you that would say that you would encourage or not encourage the city council to look further into the issue about vacation rentals that are occurring. We can give you some general numbers about the number of units that we have within Newberg. We track that between our finance department and the community development department. We're actually working to update an old map we had from 2019 that showed the location of vacation rentals. And that map shows that there is a concentration immediately north of downtown and immediately south of downtown. So we'll put something together for your review and consideration at your February meeting.
Thank you. That was the end of my comment.
Well suggested. Good job.
Very much so. Thank you, commissioners. I'm adjourning the January 13th, 2022 Planning Commission meeting for the city of Newberg. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Yep.